Hey guys! So, I'm gonna do my March wrap up. This year's going by really fast. Okay, so the first book that I read in the month of March was Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler and Mary Kilman. I borrowed it from the library, so I don't have it anymore, but I really did enjoy it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think I read it in like the span of like a day and a quarter of a day because it was just really good, and I just needed to know like what was going on with the characters and like the whole backstory and like why, like what was the real reason why they broke up, because there's a ton of different reasons, but there's this one reason that you find out and it's like and it's really really good. But yeah, so I gave that book 5 out of 5 stars, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This was amazing. Like, it just spoke to my geeky heart like nothing else. It was great because it's all about this video game, and I'm so happy I finally read it because it had all of the Sword Art Online feels, which is an anime, and it's so good, and this reminded me so much of it because they have this. Oh, I cannot tell you this because this is a spoiler, but oh my gosh, just like if you like Sword Art Online, just go read this book because just it has all of those feels, and it's just so good. And it's just all about video games, which I absolutely love video games, and it was so great, and the characters were amazing. I really love the main character. He's just really hilarious, and I love how dedicated he is to his research and to his geekiness, because that is like my dedication to my geekiness and to like my obsessions. Like, he is just so dedicated, and he knows just absolutely every single fact there is to know, and it is amazing. So I highly suggest everybody go read this book because it is absolutely fantastic. And also, little fun fact, this guy, Ernest Cline, has my same last name, and he spells it the right way with a C, so that's pretty nifty, I think. So yeah. Okay, and the next book I read this month was City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is the last book in the Mortal Instrument series, and guys, if you have the hardcover of this book and you did not know, you take it off and it looks like this. Oh, I didn't know this, and I just randomly saw it when I was reading it, and I was just like, what? So that was really exciting. So yeah, I read this month, and it was really, really good, and I absolutely loved it. I was really sad to see it end, but then, oh, and by the way, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, amazing ending, and everything about it was great. Now, the next 10 things I read were the Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy, which by now all of you should know what those are. Those are the novellas that come after the Mortal Instrument series that follow Simon. And they were really, really fantastic. My favorite one was Nothing But Shadows, which is laying the groundwork for Cassandra Clare's next series, not the Dark Artifices series, but the Last Hours, I think is what she's calling it, and it's gonna have Matthew Fairchild and James Cars. No. It's James Herondale. Yes. It's gonna have those two, and Will's gonna be in it, and Tessa's gonna be in it, and they're all gonna be in it, and I'm so excited. Oh my god, I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good. I am like literally 5,000% in love with Matthew Fairchild, and literally that novella I think was like 70-80 pages, and I'm just, nope, I already love both of those characters. I love James, but I love Matthew Herondale like nothing else. Well, I guess, Jace probably beats him, let's be honest. I absolutely love Jace, but, like, Matthew is just so amazing, too, and I'm just so excited. I cannot wait until that one comes out. So, anyway, you can probably guess the next book I read this month, which was Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and this was absolutely amazing, too. This was also a 5 out of 5 star book for me, and This follows the characters that we meet in City of Heavenly Fire, Julian and Emma Carstairs, and some of our favorite characters come back in this book, which was really exciting. And it was so good. And guys, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not Cassandra Clare's signature? Because I'm pretty sure that is. I've seen enough people be like, hey, I got my book signed by Cassandra Clare. Look, there's her signature. That looks just like her signature. Like, I mean, I pre-ordered this book. I didn't go to a signing or anything, but it's a whole page, and it looks like it's her signature. So that's pretty cool. Like, what? Anyway, but this was really good. And I love Emma, like, to death. She is literally, like, she's so awesome. Honestly, okay, to me, I find her to be Jace Lightwood, I guess is what we're gonna call him. Jace Herondale Lightwood. Mixed with, mixed with Selena Sardothian from the Throne of Glass series. Like, does anybody feel me on this? That is who I think, that is, like, literally her, I think. I think that sums her up perfectly. Obviously she's her own person, but I see so many characteristics from those two characters in her to make one epic character, and I can't even. And I really, 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 really loved her character, and I loved her story. Oh my gosh, but, like, the things that happen in this book, it's just such a mind-blow moment, and, like, I love that Cassandra Clare, like, the first book she puts out in a few years, it's, like, huge. It's, like, a 640-something page book or something like that. Like, it's amazing, and it was so good, and I literally read it, like, the day it came out. I finished it, like, the day after it came out, and I started it, like, that day. Like, this book was great. It was so, so good, and you should go read it. But listen to us when we tell you you need to read 1 through 4 of the Mortal Instruments, then read the Infernal Devices, then finish the Mortal Instruments, and then read the Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy. You must do it this way if you do not want to be spoiled, and if you want to understand all of the glorious things that are happening in this book. If you do not do it this way, you are not going to understand everything that is going on, and you're going to have a severely lacking experience reading this book, in my opinion. Because if I had read it without reading all of the things that I read beforehand, I would have not gotten the full depth of this story, because there's so many little gemstones hidden in this that come from the other books and from the Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy that you just need to know what happens. So that's my little rant on that. Make sure you do it before you read this, okay? Good. Great. Anyway, so yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing. Okay, and one of the next books I read was Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This was actually really good. I just kind of felt like starting this, and it literally took me like a day, and it was just really fun, and I got some Harry Potter nostalgic feelings from reading it because of the whole, like, boy doesn't know what he is, he finds out what he is, he's a badass, just like, I don't know, it was so good, and it gave me a lot of Harry Potter nostalgia, and it was just really good, and a lot of fun, and I'm excited to start the next book, and just see how this keeps on going, so, yeah, pretty excited. By the way, guys, happy Fred and George's birthday! I should be wearing my robes right now. I almost wore them. Why did I not put them on? I don't know. Anyway, one of the next books I read this month was Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I read Cinder in February, and so I decided to go ahead and pick up Scarlet this month and see how I liked it, and honestly, I loved it a lot. And I think I really did like it a lot more than Cinder, which apparently is like the general consensus. But I just love Scarlet as a character because she just knows who she is. Like, she knows down to the core of her being, like, exactly who she is, and nobody's going to make her be any way else, and she's just going to be herself, and if you don't like it, you can get out. And I just love that because that's me, and it's great. It was a really, really, really good book, and I really enjoyed it. I also gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Can you see a pattern here? I loved everything I read, pretty much. So, yeah. But this was absolutely fantastic. It was great. I can't wait to continue on and read Cress, which I might be doing this month. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. So this was really, really good. And then, let's see. Why am I not putting this over here? Okay. And then one of the next books I read this month was Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I got this from the library, but I honestly think I'm going to have to go buy a copy of this book for my shelves because you guys. Wow. I didn't understand why everybody was so obsessed with Colleen Hoover at all, and now I just feel like I completely get it. Like, I understand. Because I am really, really, really obsessed too. I cannot even comprehend. Wow. And I'm glad that it was this book, like, of her, like, this one that I chose to read of hers first, because it spoke to me on such a deep level, and I think that's because of the whole, it's about, two people who are songwriters and make music and stuff, and music has always been a very core part of my life. I was in choir for years. Like, I just absolutely love everything about it, and so just reading this, it really got to me on a deeper level than I think it would have anybody who wasn't so strongly attached to the idea of making music like I am. So it was really amazing. And, like, the plot twist in here, like, I can't even, and, it was such a good book, and I also gave this 5 out of 5 stars, because I am crazy, but this was amazing, and everybody should go read it, and just do it, because everybody is completely right about Colleen Hoover. She's amazing, and I'm so excited to read another one of her books. And then another book that I read this month was White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I got this on the digital library. We can get ebooks from my library, as well as just physical books from the library, so I did that. And I read White Hot Kiss, and it was really, really good. It was my first Jennifer L. Armentrout book, and I was going to wait, and I was going to read the Lux series first, because I actually own all of those, but I could not wait, because I was just having such a deep want to read White Hot Kiss, because I was like, gargoyles and demons, and I just need it, and I read it, and I read it so quickly, and it was so good, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, again, of course, but it was just a really, really good book, and it was just a lot of fun. It was so entertaining and great, and you were literally like, I was literally staying up like one more chapter, which normally I can usually be like, okay, I'm going to bed now, but not with this one. It was so good. And so I cannot wait to read the next one of those. I'm also probably going to get that from the digital library. That way I don't have to go buy it. Okay, and let me talk to you about the next few books that I read this month. I also read the 3 through 12 of Death Note. I also got this from the library, and it was I read 5 through 12 of Death Note. That's what I read. 5 through 12 of Death Note, and it was really, really good. I gave, like, the 5th one and the 6th one, I think, 5 out of 5 stars, and then after that, I think I decreased my rating to 4 out of 5 stars, because of the thing that happens in the middle of the series that just makes it not as good as it was the first half. And if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody else, but just, yeah, the last half wasn't as good as the first half, but I still really enjoyed it. It was really crazy and fun to see Light and how he was trying to figure out all of the how to, swindle his way out of stuff and everything, and he was just an absolute genius. I loved just seeing what all he came up with and what to do, so that was pretty exciting. So I really, really loved that, and I just I had a really great time reading Death Note, and I can't wait to start the anime. I tried to, like, right after I finished the manga, but that wasn't a good idea because, honestly, from what I could tell, because I watched, like, the first 15 minutes of the first episode, it sticks completely to the manga, and at that point, I wasn't really wanting to go back to the story, but I know I will later on, so I probably will watch the anime in a few months or something like that, so, yeah. One of the next things I read this month was Truth Witch by Susan Dinner. This I also got from my library, and it was pretty good. It took me a while to get into. Like, I think for the first 200 pages, I was just not completely into it. I was kind of bored. I mean, not completely. There was stuff going on. It just, the pacing, I guess, wasn't that great because the characters are amazing and the plot is super interesting, but I guess the pacing was just a little off for the first 200 pages, so I wasn't too into it. But after that, I was, like, super into this book, and it was really, really, really good. But because of the pacing, I did end up only giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. And the book I just finished last night was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This, was really, really, really weird. Like, I mean, like, really weird. I completely loved it, though. I mean, it was, like, a love weird, but it was just really weird. But like I said, it was really good. I really, really loved it. The plot twists in this book were just wow, and I love the Raven Boys, and I totally get what everybody means by, like, when they're, like, squad goals, the Raven Boys, and I'm like, right? If only I could have friends like this, you know? It was really good, and I really like the fact that, the friendships are the main focus, at least in this book. There's a little touch of the romance. I mean, a big plot point is surrounded by, Blue, the girl in this, book. Her whole family's psychics or whatever, and, the whole thing is that she's always been told she will kill her true love with a kiss, so she can't ever kiss anybody. But so this was really good, but like I said, they don't focus on the romance too much in this book. It's more about the friendship and the building of the relationships between everybody at first. I'm sure they will get more into the romance later, but it still seems that the friendship between the boys and Blue will still be a main focus, so I'm really excited to continue on with this. I've been reading this for the Read Raven thing that's going on right now that Dylan from Books with Dylan is doing at the moment. So I'm excited to start the next one, and I'm excited to see what he thinks about it, because I don't think he's finished it yet, but yeah. Oh, I also gave this 4 out of 5? It was either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. I can't remember, but one of those. And then this one, so I read 27 books in all this month. If you were wondering the total, it was 27. A lot of them I didn't have with me because I either read them as ebook or from the library that I already returned. And then I started Valor this month by John Gwynne. This is the second book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, and it is really good. It is complete epic high fantasy. It's amazing. It has everything you could want in it. I am on page 252, and this book has 640 pages. So I'm about this much through. Whatever. So, but I do plan on, finishing it this month. I just had so many other things I wanted to read. Sorry. I had so many other things I wanted to read, and so I wasn't really dedicated to it at the time, but I'm sure I will finish it by the end of this month, and I'm really excited to get back into it, because I do really, really love this story, because it is insane and amazing and just absolutely epic. So, yeah. So, those are all the books that I have read this month. Let me know what you've been reading, what you like, if you've read any of these, and what you think about them, and all that good junk. And I will see you guys later. Peace.